1. Introduction to the endocrine system. Definition: the endocrine system is one of the body's two major control systems, along with the nervous system. It uses chemical messengers, hormones, to regulate various body functions. Hormones: these are chemical substances secreted by endocrine glands into the bloodstream to influence target cells in other parts of the body. Endocrine versus exocrine. Endocrine glands secrete their products directly into the bloodstream, while exocrine glands secrete their products into ducts that lead to body surfaces or cavities. Comparison with the nervous system. While both systems control body functions, the nervous system acts quickly and locally, using electrochemical signals, while the endocrine system acts slower and more broadly, using hormones. 2. Hormone function and mechanisms of action. Target cells. Hormones affect only specific target cells that possess specific receptor proteins for that hormone. Receptor types: plasma membrane receptors, for water-soluble hormones, proteins, peptides, amines, which cannot easily cross the cell membrane. They trigger intracellular signaling cascades, often involving second messengers, like CAM. Intracellular receptors, for lipid-soluble hormones, steroids, thyroid hormones, which can diffuse directly through the cell membrane. They directly activate gene expression in the nucleus, leading to protein synthesis. Hormone actions. Hormones can alter target cell function in various ways, including altering membrane permeability, stimulating or inhibiting synthesis of proteins, activating or deactivating enzymes, inducing secretory activity, stimulating cell division. 3. Control of hormone secretion. Regulation of secretion. Hormone secretion is typically regulated by negative feedback loops, the most common control mechanism, where the hormone's effect reverses the initial stimulus, reducing further secretion. Positive feedback loops. The hormone's effect enhances the initial stimulus, leading to more secretion, less common, e.g., oxytocin during labor. Neural control. Nervous system input can directly or indirectly influence hormone release, e.g., stress response. Humoral control. Changes in blood levels of certain ions or nutrients can trigger hormone release, e.g., insulin release in response to glucose. 4. Major endocrine glands and their hormones. Hypothalamus plays a crucial role in connecting the nervous and endocrine systems. It releases hormones that control the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, hypophysis, often called the master gland, it's divided into anterior pituitary, adenohypophysis, controlled by hypothalamic hormones, secretes hormones that regulate other endocrine glands, e.g., TSH, ACTH, FSH, LH, as well as growth hormone, GH, and prolactin, PRL. Posterior pituitary, neurohypophysis, stores and releases hormones made in the hypothalamus, antidiuretic hormone, ADH, and oxytocin, OT. Thyroid gland, located in the neck, produces thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, that regulate metabolism, and calcitonin, which lowers blood calcium. Parathyroid glands, small glands on the posterior thyroid that produce parathyroid hormone, PTH, which increases blood calcium. Adrenal glands, located atop the kidneys, have an outer cortex and inner medulla. Adrenal cortex produces steroid hormones, glucocorticoids, e.g., cortisol, involved in stress response, mineralocorticoids, e.g., aldosterone, involved in sodium balance, and androgens, sex hormones. Adrenal medulla produces catecholamines, e.g., epinephrine and norepinephrine, involved in the fight or flight response. Pancreas has endocrine and exocrine functions. The endocrine portion, islets of Langerhans, produces insulin, lowers blood glucose, glucagon, raises blood glucose, and other hormones. Pineal gland, located in the brain, produces melatonin, which regulates circadian rhythms. Ovaries, females, produce estrogen and progesterone, involved in female reproductive development and function. Testes, males, produce testosterone, involved in male reproductive development and function. Other hormone-producing tissues. Some tissues like the heart, kidneys, and gastrointestinal tract also produce hormones that play a role in their respective functions. 5. Hormone interactions and the stress response. Synergistic effects. Two or more hormones work together for a greater effect. Antagonistic effects. Two or more hormones have opposing effects. Permissive effects. One hormone requires the presence of another to exert its full effect. Stress response, general adaptation syndrome gas. The body's response to stress involves the nervous and endocrine systems and has 3 stages: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. 6. Endocrine disorders, hypersecretion, excessive hormone production. Hyposecretion, insufficient hormone production. Receptor defects, problems with hormone receptors. Examples: diabetes mellitus, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Cushing's syndrome, Addison's disease. Key takeaways: the endocrine system is essential for regulating vital processes like metabolism, growth, reproduction, and stress response. Hormones act by binding to specific receptors on target cells, triggering intracellular changes. Hormone secretion is tightly regulated by feedback loops and various stimuli. The endocrine system is complex, with many different hormones acting together to maintain homeostasis. Disruptions in hormone production or action can lead to various disorders. Tips for studying: focus on the key hormones from each gland. Know their functions and how their secretion is regulated. Understand the feedback mechanisms. Make sure you're comfortable with positive and negative feedback loops. Pay attention to the types of receptors. How hormones bind to them dictates how they work. Practice drawing diagrams, illustrate the different glands and the relationships between them. Relate concepts to clinical examples. This helps solidify understanding and provides real-world context.